Okay, so, all right, let me kind of summarize Jerry's question here. So, Jerry's getting a signal from BloodHound, but he wants to enter the trade, get into the trade, when the market has broken the high of the bar that had the BloodHound signal on it. So, Jerry, it sounds like you want to use a stop entry order just above the high of the bar to get into the trade. So, all right, let's, good question there, start us off with. And let's get BlackBird up and running. All right, turn it on. All right, there's our BlackBird. So, I'm going to open up the order settings here, click the button, and all right, so first thing I need to do is set up a BloodHound signal, something to work with. And I have this old test BloodHound template that I use for these workshops. All right, and see, the logic template I'm going to use is, let's see, here we go, price inflection with a MACD filter. So again, this is just a BloodHound test signals here, just something, it generates a lot of trade signals for me to work with. So, all right, so getting to the real answer to Jerry's question here. So let's set up a stop entry. So we want a stop entry. And we're going to open up the entry order. And we need to set our initial placement here. So right now we can see that the initial placement is at the close of the bar plus 10 ticks. Close of the bar plus 10 ticks. And if you guys want to visualize this, we can use the dynamic planner here. So I am getting a little off topic here, but if I hit plan long, right, it's taking the close, right, close of the bar, and it's adding 10 ticks, right? So you can see the close of the bar is at 76 cents, and our limit order is at 86 cents, right? So just to give you guys an example here, but let's get back to the main question, right? So we just want to adjust this initial placement price, right? We want to set it to the high of the bar plus a tick or two, whatever you guys want, whatever kind of offset from the high of the bar you want to use, right? So let's open this up. So, and for a long trade, Jerry wants to place it, let's see, where is it? There it is. Place it at the high of the bar. And I imagine probably 1 or 2 ticks above that. So just for exaggeration here, I'll place it 2 ticks above the high of the bar. And we can see here for short trades, we can see it's automatically selected the reverse price. So if you're taking a short trade, the reverse would be at the low of the bar and then minus 2 ticks, or 2 ticks lower than the low of the bar. So that is really it. That's really kind of the key to Jerry's question. And so let's give this a test here. Well, and something else that you may want to do, so you may want the option of canceling the order after so many bars, like, I don't know, who knows, maybe you place an order at the high of the day and the market never gets back up there, right? Well, eventually you want to cancel that order. So most likely, you'll say, let's cancel this entry order after X number of bars. So or something else probably more practical is you might want to say, well, you know what, let's cancel the trade after the market goes so many ticks against the direction of the trade. So let's see, let's probably set this something a little more practical. Maybe, I don't know, 25 ticks. Right, depends on your system, of course. So, using this ticks against direction, what this does is, let's say we placed an order at the high, on this bar here, this doji bar at the high, and then if price had pulled back 25 ticks, in other words, if you had a significant pullback, that might be a situation where you say, okay, this trade signal is nullified because price pulled back too much, too deep of a pullback, and then the trade, so the entry order would get canceled after too much of a pullback, something like that. So, and of course, you can do both. If you want, you can say number of bars and too much of a pullback, something like that, right? So there you go, something to consider. Cancel after. And all right, so with that, basically that is it. So let's just give this a try here. Let me just kind of point something out here. So I did, right? Remember, I did add a BloodHound signal here, and you'll notice, right? It's not going to BloodHound's not going to show up on the chart automatically. NinjaTrader doesn't allow that. So if you do want your BloodHound signals to show up on the chart, we just need to reload the chart. We'll do that. There you go. Now that allows BlackBird to put BloodHound on the chart. And then the next thing you always want to do is, you're probably going to want to look at the logic template that has your entry signals, right? So I set BloodHound up to use the price inflection with MACD filter. So there we go. And actually, this actually, those are the wrong signals. Yeah, those signals are not going to work very well. So let's see. Let me see if I can find something else. Let's see. Actually, so I need to take a look at my BloodHound signals and try and find something that's more appropriate for placing an order at the high. I may not have anything appropriate. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Maybe that'll work. Yeah. Whatever this exit is. Yeah, let me just take a look. See how this exit signal works. Let's see. 5-bar direction. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I just need 5 bars in the direction. Okay. Great. So, give me a moment here to... Yeah, I'll set this up for a short trade. All right, so I'm going to have to generate 5 down bars here. Let's see, Jerry's asking, so this would be a stop order, not a limit order. Yes, Jerry, I believe, the way I understand your question, if you're trying to place a long trade above the market, that would be a stop order. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're almost there. All right, so we should get a short signal here on this bar. There we go. Oh, gosh darn it. I forgot to turn the auto trader on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, give me a moment here and I'll set up another. We'll set up a long trade here. Yeah, so don't forget to turn the auto trader on. Okay, almost there. Okay, so we will get a limit order 2 ticks above the high of that bar there. And So what happened? Let's see. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. What happened was... just a sec here. Let me generate some down bars here. Okay. So what happened here is I did not change my entry signals inside of BlackBird here. Right, I left them on the price inflection with MACD. So we want to set it to the exit. There we go. So, all right. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. This is our last bar. All right. So we'll have a short signal here, and our entry price should be a couple of ticks below the low. There we go. Bingo. Okay. There. So once we get everything set up correctly, there we go. So there's our stop entry waiting down there, and now of course if I pull the market down, it'll come down and fill it. So okay, almost there. Let's see how many bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna get picked up just in time, just before that 5-bar cancel kicks in. And there we go. All right, so with that, let me take a look. And actually, I guess I'll leave that on. So I will, let's see, let me leave BlackBird open here. So here was the key settings here for Jerry's question. And let me just take a look at the chat board, see if there's any follow-ups on this. All right, so it looks like that answered Jerry's question. All right, good. Good. Yeah, no follow-up questions. All right, Wave is asking, is it possible to change and switch between BlackBird strategies in real time? And see, and combine doing that with BloodHound. So, all right, so Wave, just to be clear, you want to change BloodHound strategies in real time, not, or I'd say you want to be able to switch or change between BloodHound signals in real time, not actually change BlackBird strategies in real time. I think what you're asking is that you want to be able to switch. You want to be able to change your BloodHound logic templates in real time. That's what it sounds like. Okay, yes. All right, so the answer is yes. So that is what this default option is for. It says use chart pull down. So if I leave it on the chart pull down, so let's give this we'll give this a test here. And let me just switch. I'm going to switch this over, and I'll cancel that. Let me just switch this over to a market. All right, so we're going to now, we're now going to submit a market based on the BloodHound signals. And I'll just put in a simple profit and stop loss there. All right, and let me delete that. Okay, let's close this out. And all right, so let's see. Let me. How about I'll just do the price inflection here. All right, as soon as this bar closes down, we'll have a price inflection. Let's see. All right, so there. Sorry, I was reading the question here. So there we go. We can see on the chart. There's that. So we entered on a price inflection, and now let me switch it to. Let's see here. What else do we have? I guess, yeah, let me switch it to the exit signal. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're on our fifth down bar. So this will, all right, this will set a trade signal. All right, bingo. So, right, we just got a short on the exit logic, on the exit signal here, logic template. And then let's see, let me switch to, how about 2 bars? Yeah, so let's see, let me close that out. All right, close that trade out, and 2 bars, so we can see whenever we get 2 bars in the same direction, we start getting some signals. So let's see, we got 1, and as soon as this bar closes, that should be 2. And bingo, there we go. All right, so just be very careful when you're using the chart pull down to determine your trade signals, right? Because it's very easy to accidentally say, it's very easy to accidentally say, oh, I want to take a look at these signals and forget that BlackBird's going to start trading that signal when you make that change. So be very cautious when doing this. Let's see. Wei was asking, so can you change money management rules in BlackBird in real time as well? Yes, you can. Although, so it depends on what you mean by real time. So keep in mind that primarily BlackBird waits, and the money management rules operate on realized profit and loss, not unrealized. All right, so it means so it depends on your technical definition of real time, but real time, as far as using realized profits, yes, you can go in here and you can change this. You can change your settings. So if you have some settings in here, so something like this, so if you have settings in here, and if you want, you can change this in real time, and when the next trade signal comes on, when the next trade comes on, right, BlackBird will start using the new settings here. So let's see, let's take a look here. So let me go to count overrides. Let's see. All right, so we actually have a net profit of $370. So let's change the money management to say 350, right? So basically the daily net max profit has been achieved. If I click OK, let me pull the market down, and we'll start generating some short signals here. And you can see the message there, right? It says that the short trade on the oil chart was ignored because the current daily net profit, was met. So no trades, right? So BlackBird's ignoring all these trades. So let's reverse. Let me reverse the trend here. Right. So basically, I did. I just turned this on, and BlackBird started using these money management rules as soon as I turned them on. And if I increase this $400, click OK. And now, as soon as we get a long signal, BlackBird will start trading again. So let's see here. Let's show the performance here. There we go. So we have a trade on. So remember, I set the max, the daily max profit to $400. And so right now, BlackBird is $30 below that, underneath that. So on this next trade, that'll get us above $400, and BlackBird will stop trading again. There we go. So $470. So on this next signal, BlackBird will ignore it because our daily max profit has been met. So let's just get one more bar. Come on. There we go. So we can see, yep, trades are now being ignored because our daily max profit has been achieved. And then, if I want, I can go into the money management, and I could up that again, set it to 4,000, and actually let's close this bar here. Actually, I think it's going to take a bar. The settings, let's see. Okay, no, so it did take that trade immediately. All right, so Jerry's asking, can we add a trailing stop that initially starts at the last price minus 20 ticks? Let's see. And then with each tick in the direction of the trade, the trail adjusts closer by 2 ticks until break even. All right, until break even. Let's see. And then sets the trail, then the trailing, so then the stop loss trailing will follow the low of the previous bar. All right, yeah, we can do that. And let's see, actually I'll answer 2 of Jerry's questions at the same time. And then Jerry's also asking, can we set the trade times between 6 and 7:30, and then from noon to 1:15 as well? All right, yeah, so let's take care of 2 questions in one here. Okay, so let me see. Let me turn all this off here. All right. Let's see here. All right, yeah, I'll start using this order set here. So I'll just make some adjustments here. All right, so let me redo this stop loss, excuse me. So let's see here. I'll start off using the 10 tick stop loss, and then I will need to go in and adjust it to a 20 tick stop loss. All right, so Jerry's specifically saying instead of using the entry price, he wants to use the last price minus 20 ticks. So we'll change this to the last price. There we go. Now the last price could easily be a few ticks different than the entry price, right? Just depends on how fast the market's moving. So, all right, so there we go. So we're setting our stop loss based on the last price. So it kind of sounds like, this stop loss is being set based on, some market volatility instead of using the entry price. So, all right, now here comes. Actually, hold on a sec. Let me set my trend to a neutral position here. There. Okay, now let's get BlackBird open. All right. So now here's really the meat of Jerry's question. So we're going to set up a whole bunch of trailing rules here. So for every tick, so for each tick in the direction of the trade, we want the stop loss to move closer by 2 ticks. All right, so let's add a rule here. So there's no delay, let's see, no trigger. So the action here. All right, yeah, so we're going to take the order price. So we're going to use the order price here. So the order price, this is the price at which the stop loss is currently sitting at. Right, so we're going to take, so wherever that stop loss is sitting at, we're going to add 2 additional ticks, right? So, well, for a long trade, right, we're going to take the existing stop loss's order price and we're going to modify it by 2 ticks. Or we're going to keep adding 2 ticks to it. All right, and let's see. All right, and so the repeat. Let's see, repeat until. All right, yeah, I'm gonna try the. I'm gonna see what the repeat until has for us. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a shot here. I'm gonna use the profit or loss as our condition. So, okay, let me back up here. So the repeat, I'm using repeat until, right? So according to Jerry's question, we want to keep moving that stop loss in increments of 2 ticks until we get to break even, right? So this trailing rule, we want it to turn off when we get to break even. So I'm using this repeat until, and I'm now looking for a way to determine when that stop loss is at break even. And let's see, so what I can do is, I can look for a profit of $0 or I can just say ticks, at 0 ticks of profit. So I think this will work. We'll give it a shot here. Let's see, repeat every. So we want to repeat every tick in direction, every 1 tick in direction. So again, looking at Jerry's question, he says, with each tick in the positive direction, then we want to trail by 2 ticks. All right, so there we go. Every tick in direction of the trade, every 1 tick in the direction of the trade. So, if you wanted to, you could say, for every 2 ticks, the market moves in the direction of the trade. Then we'll move the stop loss. So you have lots of flexibility here. But, let's see, but we want just every 1 tick. So, and then once we get to 0 ticks in profit, it'll turn it off. All right, so let's just kind of test this out for now. So we're going to test one thing at a time. And then once we get this part of the trailing working, then we'll add another trailing rule that will trail the previous low bar price. All right. Let's see here. So actually, I'm going to get rid of my profit target because really I don't want the profit target to close out the trade too early. So we'll just get rid of the profit target and leave this as a runner here. And all right, so let's click OK. Let's turn this on, and then let's see. We're using price inflection. All right, so let me create a price inflection here. Actually, I'm gonna generate another long trade, so I'm gonna turn the auto trailer off because I don't want to go short here. So this will generate a short signal. Yeah. Now let's reverse the market up. to generate a long signal. And I'll turn the auto trader on. There we go. And let's see. All right, so that. Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. So remember my repeat rule that says 0 ticks of profit. Yeah, that. I was thinking of the stop loss moving to 0 ticks, but no. So I actually, yeah, let me turn this off here. Close this out. And let's re-evaluate this trailing roll. So, yeah, so this repeat until, I said 0 ticks of profit. Well, profit is wherever the market is compared to your entry price. So, I don't know why, but I was thinking the stop loss price, the profit of the stop loss price, but no. This profit is, wherever the market is compared to your entry price. That's what profit is. So let's take another look here. Let's try price versus indicator. So price versus indicator, we can actually do price versus price. So this is this price versus indicator. It's a little more flexible than that. I mean, you can actually do indicator versus indicator. You can do price versus price, or you can do price versus indicator. A little more flexible here. So, yeah, let's see. Input A. Let's set that to, yeah. So, well, yeah, we're missing that one key piece of information. So if we had, if we had access to the stop loss price, in our list of prices here, then we could do this. But, yeah, there's probably a technical reason why the stop loss order price is not available in here. So, yeah, so Jerry, we can't do this exactly as you wrote the question, but we can do this very similar, very, very similar. So we'll just, there'll be some subtle changes here. So what I'm going to do is, for my stop loss for the initial placement here, instead of using the last price, I'm going to use the entry price. So I'm going to have a 20 tick offset from the entry price. So this will always be a 20 tick stop loss. So knowing that, I can do some math and basically kind of back calculate using some math, when this trailing roll will turn off here. So let's see here. All right, so using this repeat until, I'm going to go back to the profit or loss, and I'm going to look for a profit of 10 ticks. Right? So I know that my stop loss is moving 2 ticks. Right? 2 ticks for every 1 tick in profit. So that means once I get to 10 ticks of profit, my stop loss will be at break even. Right? So, all right. So let's give this a shot. Let's go test this out. And let's see. All right. So let's move the market up, and I'll turn the auto trader on. And let's sit back and watch the ride. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so the stop loss is not moving as expected. Let's see if I set something wrong here. Let's see here. I was want to make sure. Well, this stuff is not going to interfere. But let's see, what else am I looking for? Oh yeah, I'm going to lower the throttle here. Let's see, I'm going to turn that off so I'm not flipping back and forth here. All right, let me give this a shot again. Let's close that out. Move the market up. And we should get a long signal here. Okay, there we go. And let's fix the chart here. There we go, 2 ticks. And let's see, what do we have? 5 ticks. Now, one thing to note, that excuse me. All right, there we go. Let's make sure that the trailing is turned off here. So there we go. 11 ticks, 12 ticks, 13 ticks. All right, and the trailing stopped. So one thing to note about BlackBird is that BlackBird looks. So the the P&L that you see here, right? So we see it 16, 15 ticks on the P&L, profit and loss. So BlackBird calculates P&L based on the ask and bid price, not the last price, right? It's based on the ask and bid. So because that is true P&L. The last price doesn't tell you true P&L, right? Only the ask and the bid tells you real P&L. So BlackBird is always looking at the bid and ask when it's calculating the P&L for you, right? So just to be aware of that, because the reason why I'm pointing this out is because on NinjaTrader's chart trader, you can set NinjaTrader up to show you the last price as your P&L. But of course, that's never true. The last price is never your true P&L, because you're not guaranteed to get filled at the last price. You're only guaranteed to get filled at the ask or the bid. So we have decided not to use the last price because that's false information, right? That's incorrect information. So, right. So just be aware of that, because when the market is slowly inching upward, right, it may look like you just got one additional tick of profit, but if the bid hadn't moved, then there wasn't that tick of profit, right? That was just the market filling an ask price, not filling the bid price. So yeah, so there you go, one technical piece of information there. Okay, so we got all right, so we have the first part of the question answered. We have our stop loss trailing until break even. Right, so now we need to set the stop loss to start trailing the low of the previous bar. All right, so let's get this. Let me close this out. Okay. Going back to kind of a earlier question here from Wave, who was asking, can you change money management rules can you change money management rules in real time? And the answer to that is yes. And so I can imagine some people might be asking, well, can you change stop loss rules in real time? The answer to that is no. You cannot change your order settings while a trade is open. So you can change your order settings. For example, you can change your stop loss trailing. You can change it on the fly, but it will only take effect once BlackBird is flat, and then when the next order when the next position is opened, that is when any kind of changes in your order sets will take place. Right. All right, so let's see here. Let's give this a name here before we go too far. All right, so we're trailing 2 ticks until break even. And now this other rule here is, let's see. I guess we don't need the rule trail. We don't need the word trail all the time. These are always trailing rules, but let's see. All right, so this is going to trail the previous low or high. So let's see here. All right, so we'll need a delay here. So we know that once we get to 20 ticks in profit, right, the first trailing rule will be at break even. Right, and we know that because we have the repeat, right, for the trail 2 ticks until break even, right? That's going to repeat until there's 10 ticks in profit. So this next rule that's going to trail the previous low and high, we want this rule to wait until there's 10 ticks in profit, right? And then it can start trailing the previous bar's low and high. So let's go set that up. So for a long trade, we want to trail the low. There's the low. And we want it to be, let's see, well, previous bar, that's probably, I'm guessing what you mean by previous bar is probably 2 bars back. And if you want, you can also, again, you could apply an offset to that. So say like you wanted it 1 tick below the low of the previous bar, we could add a 1 tick offset. All right, so there you go, -1 for that. And then this previous low bar trailing, we want this to repeat indefinitely, right? Indefinitely until the stop loss gets hit or your profit target gets hit, right? So now since we're trailing bar prices, then the repeat only needs to operate once per bar, right? You can only get a previous low of the previous bar only happens, right, when a new bar is created. So we'll leave the repeat every 1 bar, and that should be that. So. And then the other question Jerry had was he wanted to set the trading between 6:30 and noon. So let's see. Well, if I turn that on, let me go ahead and I'll set it up, but I will have to turn it off because it is in between those times on my computer. So, but let's go set this up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the US Equities RTH, use this to kind of start me off like this, and then I can modify this. So this just kind of gives me something to work with. It's not necessary, but so let's move this up to, let's see here. Actually, I'm going to set this to 30-minute increments. There, move that up to 6. Move that up to 6. I'll move these all up to 6. Actually, you know what? Looking at this now, I guess starting off using an existing template probably isn't really saving me any time. But okay, now let's just go set the end times in here. Let's see, what was 7? Okay, 7:30. So let's go 7. And that's AM. Okay, like so. You know, you could also kind of drag these all up like this. Okay, so there's our 6 to 7:30, and then noon to 1:15. All right, noon to 1:15. All right, noon. Let's go 1:15, like so. All right. Okay, so there's my times set up in Blackbird. So, you know, an easier way to kind of do this. So, you know, these time settings are, you know, they're saved within, you know, this Blackbird template, right? Within this Blackbird settings file. A quicker way, or it's probably a more convenient way, so that you can keep using these times over and over again without having to recreate these blocks of time. You know, a quicker way would be to go and create a custom session template within NinjaTrader, right? So you can see I have all these kind of custom session templates, and these are created in NinjaTrader's session template editor, right? So which would be, so to get to Ninja's session manager, as they call it, the session manager, you know, so you could use Ninja's session manager, and you can you know, create a custom one here. So you can see I've got some custom ones built, you know, from 10 to noon, you know, and then you could, you know, you can select these custom ones. You can select these in Blackbird. So that's kind of like a faster way to load up any kind of custom, you know, blocks of time that you want to use with your Blackbird. So, anyways, all right, let's cancel that. So, okay, so we have this, yeah, so we have our custom block of time created here. So we're good there. I have to turn it off in order to test our stop loss rules here, right? So, all right, let's click OK, and I'll start another long trade here. All right, so I'll close that out. And let me move the market up, turn Blackbird back on, and we should get a long trade here. There we go. All right, so I'm just gonna let the market just move on up. Let that market move higher. And there we go. Now we can see the stop loss is trailing the low of the previous bar. Well, so it's 2 closed bars back, right? So here, let's stop this here. So here's the first closed bar, and then the stop loss is trailing the second closed bar back, like that. So if we want our stop loss to trail, right, really close to just the previous bar where the dot is, then I will we just need to make a simple adjustment here. So if we look at our previous high-low trailing roll, and if I go into the actions, so remember the action column, that's where you set up the prices at which your stop loss will be moving to, right? So in actions, let's open up the move to, and we could knock this down to our look back period down to 1 instead of 2. Right? Knock it down to 1, and then it would trail a lot closer. All right, so take a look, and actually, before moving on, I'll save this out here. So I'll save this out for you, Jerry. Let's hit the save button. All right, let's see what kind of name to give this here. Okay, so this is using a BloodHound signal, and it's using that crossover test 2 template. And save that. Okay, so there you go, Jerry. So if anybody would like would like to get this BlackBird file later on today, you can just email us and ask us for today's BlackBird file. We'll send you a link back for that. Okay, so with that, let me make sure I'm done with this question. So let me see if there's any follow-ups on this topic. All right, well, guys, with that, yeah, I don't really see any other BlackBird questions coming in here. So, yeah, with that, well, I'll wrap this up. Okay, so again, guys, let me just remind you, I really appreciate questions being emailed in for these workshops. It kind of gives me something to start with, to start the workshop off with. So if you have questions for these workshops, please email them in ahead of time. All right, it's really handy. And also, you can also attach screenshots to your emails as well to kind of help explain what you're looking for. Help explain your question there. So, all right. So with that, guys, have a good weekend, and I hope to see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye, guys.